What's going on, guys? It's your boy beatsbyash back at it again with another banger of a video, and I'm super excited to showcase to you guys today one of my all-time favorite strategies in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm talking about Thunder Dragon. Now, this is a deck that I have been playing since its inception, and I have practically updated it at every chance I could get. And with the new arrivals to Master Duel, I think we're going to be able to take this deck to an entirely new level. I'm talking about the Fiendsmith cards. Now, these cards are being practically used in anything and everything, but they provide a very, very different advantage to our deck. And that is due thanks to not just the Fiendsmith cards, but a card that is not legal in the TCG, Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. Basically, any two monsters can get us into a Beatrice, which will then allow us to send a Thunder Dragon Roar and get our Thunder Dragon engine online before we actually commit to any plays, and it is a whole lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile, enjoy the games, and without further ado, let's get into the goo. Alright guys, we are back, and here's the deck list that we're going to be going over today. So let's hop right into the card by card analysis. So starting off, for the Thunder Dragon engine, we're playing 3 copies of Thunder Dragon OG. This card really overshines and outperforms a lot of the other cards in this deck, unlike other builds of Thunder Dragon, specifically because it can allow us to pay the cost for several of our cards that require us to have a discard outlet. And being able to get a free +1 is very advantageous in that way, as well as it can be very useful to special summon the second copy from your hand with a Saryuja just to be able to make that second Colossus. And that is the name of the game with this deck. Ideally, the end board is us having 2 Colossus plus a Hieratic Seals in the extra monster zone alongside a number 38 Hope Harbinger and potentially a IP if our hand is insane, and along the way hopefully get to discard a couple cards from our opponent's hand. But then we are playing only 1 copy of Thunder Dragon Dark, 1 copy of Hawk, and 2 copies of Roar. Now, this is the exact same lineup I played IRL, where I was able to take this deck to second place in a case tournament, and in that version I actually played a different card over the Fiendsmith engine, which was the Trishula, the Dragon of Icy Imprisonment, because this card can allow you to banish any Thunder Dragon monster from your deck by utilizing 3 dragons, considering we do not have Beatrice legal in the TCG. And so for that reason, I did not actually have the Fiendsmith in that deck. And in fact, I was able to destroy 6 Fiendsmith players in a row, only losing to a 7th Fiendsmith player in the finals. So that just goes to show that the Fiendsmith engine is not necessarily required to play this deck IRL if you can't afford it, because it can do very well without it. So the reason that I decided to play 2 Roar is because I felt like if you're going to have a second copy of any of these, Roar is probably the best one, because it's the best one to draw and banish with a lure or discard with a card and then banish it from grave. And also in the grind game, on turn 3, you can search it, or maybe you draw it and you can discard it to get back the Hawk to get a body. Or it can just special summon probably an OG that's left in the deck. So I think this ratio is very, very good. The only change that I would make to this deck, or I would consider making, is potentially moving Roar up to 3, Dark up to 3, and then maybe adding a Thunder Dragon duo, just because we have 3 Chaos Space legal on Master Duel. So it's a consideration, but I wanted to keep the deck as low as possible in order for us to open as many Bestials as we can going second. Because guys, that's one of the biggest advantages of this deck right now, is that Bestials are very, very strong since everyone and their mother is running a Fiendsmith engine, and this deck plays very well into boards, especially with our non-engine. But so for that reason, I decided to almost fully max out on the Bestials. We have a total of 9. Obviously, I'm only playing 2 Saronir. It's the only one that you could bump up, but I just do not feel like it's necessary. The deck is already at 45 cards, and then we also have essentially even more than that because there's 3 Chaos Space legal on Master Duel. And then, of course, we have the Fiendsmith engine. I decided to only run 1 copy of Tract, because you could argue that you should play more than one copy of this, considering it can allow you to discard key combo pieces. And I think that would be fair if we were running the 3 roar and the 3 dark, so it would be more likely to draw cards we want to discard. But because we're not wanting to do that and we're trying to keep the deck as small as possible, that's why I'm only running the minimal Fiendsmith cards with the 1 Lurry and the 2 engraver. Next up, we have our big dragons of the deck, which are the Darkest Diabolos, which can be special summoned from hand or grave when either you summon a Thunder Dragon Colossus by its effect of tributing a Thunder monster, or if we use our Bestial Lubellion to tribute a Bestial. This card is very, very good, and it is one of the 3 cards we can search off of our Melody, and can allow us to either make a Hope Harbinger, or just get a discard from our opponent, or both. And then Levianeer is just always good. This is always one of the best cards to search from your deck, and can allow you to shuffle back a card from your opponent's hand to the deck, potentially allowing us to hand loop them for 2. And it's very, very good in the grind game, and very good turn 3 to play into a board. And then my favorite dragon and pendulum card of all time, Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. The days of this card being locked behind a YCS prize card are long upon us. This card is absolutely insane, and one of the reasons that this is a viable strategy. So you can pay 1,000 life points if you place this in your pen scale as a spell, to put it into the extra deck face up and add back a banished dragon monster, which is very, very beneficial in this deck because it gives you a really good grind game, because you can banish your Bestial Magamut after you've already summoned it, and then you can add it back for the following turn. So it really allows you to get an infinite resource loop. And then to round off the monsters, obviously we're playing 2 Max C, and we are playing a white dragon, a black dragon, and a Starleash Seifert. Starleash Seifert is really, really good because it can be summoned off of your Hieratic Dragon King of a Tomb with any 2 Bestials in order to get these bodies into your hand. These 2 dragons can also be searched off Chaos Space and are way better now than they were before without the Fiendsmith stuff, because they can easily allow us to go into a Striker Dragon, add the other one, and then we immediately have 2 bodies that can allow us to start off with our Fiendsmith combos. So that is very, very good. And Starleash Seifert also has a Graveyard Recursion effect to banish it and target a level 8 light or dark dragon, add it back to the hand. So that can also allow you to grind out your opponent. So it's very, very strong. And then onto the spells, we are playing 3 copies of Melody of the Awakening Dragon. Talked about this a little bit, but this card is super impactful because it can allow us to put key resources into the graveyard that we need, or it can be activated by discarding a extra OG when you added 2 to hand. And it allows us to add any 2 of our 3 big dragons, and they are all very, very high in utility. Next up, we have 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Very, very good card just to see more cards, and also, even if you're banishing a Bestial, you can still potentially add back that Bestial with a Chaos Emperor. So this banishing effect isn't really as much of a cost as it may look, considering we are playing a minimal Thunder Dragon package. It just allows us to find our power spells that really bring this deck together. And then for the other non-engine besides Max C, we got 3 Triple Toxic Talent. If you can't run a lot of hand traps, this is probably the best card to see going second, and also very, very good going first. Specifically because the typical Fiendsmith end board in the Snake Eyes deck right now, which is very, very popular, ends on an IP Masquerena and an Apollo USA. Meaning that as long as your opponent is not able to make the Azamina fusion that is a Omni Negate, then you're going to be able to steal their Apollo USA and pretty much shut off their entire board and push through it like a paper bag. Then we have 3 copies of Chaos Space, one of the best cards ever created for any dragon deck. Card is super impactful for finding your Bestial Lubellion to add any Bestial, or adding your Chaos Dragon Levianeer, your Chaos Emperor, whatever you need. And that is really, really good in conjunction with being able to add the White Dragon and the Black Dragon. And then you can use the secondary effect to shuffle back from the banished either your Black Dragon or White Dragon to continue getting pluses during that turn. So super beneficial in this deck, and one of the reasons that I think this deck is very well positioned. Then we have a copy of Branded Regained and a copy of Branded Beast. Now, everyone is going to be playing the Branded Regained. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense here. Not everyone is playing Branded Beast, and I'm going to tell you why this card is necessary. Because one of the key advantages to this deck is that it plays very, very well into a Mulcharmy Fualos. If your opponent has a Mulcharmy Fualos, you can actually just make a very good half board where either you give them one draw and summon a Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres and end on a Branded Beast, or you just end on a Branded Beast and a Bestial Druisworm that maybe you're adding off of your Magamut, and then you've got 2 disruptions right there guaranteed, even through a Fualos. So that is very, very nice because everyone's playing 3 Fualos now since Max C is semi-limited. But that's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck here. Obviously, 1 copy of Fiendsmith Lacrima for the combo. Double Colossus because you're going to summon the first one with your Thunder Dragon Hawk. The second one then is typically summoned by utilizing your Saryuja to special summon a Thunder monster. And it's very important to note that a lot of decks are going to be able to push through 1 Colossus, but most decks are not going to be able to push through 2. And with the Fiendsmith engine, with the Snake Eyes deck, and the Yubel deck being so popular right now, this card is just really, really difficult for your opponent to deal with. And then we have 1 Chaos Angel, obviously one of the best cards going second, and will get even better whenever Ryzeal comes out. 1 Hieratic Dragon King of Atum. As I already talked about earlier, this can allow you to summon your Safer to start off your plays and get whatever you need from the deck. Then we have 1 copy of Beatrice. Typically, you're going to be utilizing this to send your Thunder Dragon Roar, then banish it with a Bestial, and then after that, you're going to have enough bodies, including your Fiendsmith monsters, to make a 4-material Saryuja. Then we have number 38, Hope Harbinger. In my opinion, this card is very important and a priority to end on because it gives you another layer of disruption, especially against Tenpai when they play cards like Raigeki and Heavy Storm. Probably the best rank 8 in the game currently. Then we have the Striker Dragon for our white and black dragon, Fiendsmith Requiem for the combo, the 1 Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres for the combo, as well if you decided to play a more controlling version of this deck with a lot of hand traps, you could definitely bump this up to 2, but that's not what we were trying to do. IP for the combo, SP for IP and going second, Moon for the combo, Sequence for the combo as well, being the key way we can go into a 4-material Saryuja, and then finally, the bad man himself, Saryuja Skuldred. I have a saying that anytime this card is viable, you know that that deck is completely degenerate, and I could not say enough about how true that is, because this deck allows you to combo off in so many different ways, and one of my favorite things about this deck is basically every game feels very, very different because there are a lot of different ways to approach the combos depending on what you draw, and I find that really, really enjoyable. But that's going to be it for the deck. Let me know down below if there are any changes you would make to the deck, or if you think that this strategy is good as is. But with that out of the way, let's hop into these games and see what we can do. All right, guys, so just so you understand what kind of combo lines you can do with this deck, I'm going to show off a test hand or 2 so you know how you should be comboing. So obviously, the only action we have in this hand is Allure of Darkness. It plays into Droll, but realistically, if you're scared of Droll, this deck is not for you. And then we can go ahead and banish our Thunder Dragon Roar here, which is going to allow us to then special summon a Thunder Dragon Dark from the deck, getting the Thunder Dragon engine online, which is very, very good. And then, unfortunately, we could tribute with our Bestial Saronir, which is not the greatest. But we could also just normal summon our Max C, and I think that would be sufficient as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that, because we can also just still special summon the Saronir later in the turn. Then we're going to go ahead and link off both of these into the Fiendsmith combo here. Making the Moon. We'll activate the effect of Dark here, which is going to allow us to add a Hawk. And then we can go ahead and link off into the Requiem. Requiem effect. And we're going to summon out our Engraver. So now, at this point, we're going to go ahead and special summon our Wyvern Burster by banishing the Thunder Dragon Dark. Don't worry, we're going to be able to get it back with our Thunder Dragon Hawk later in the combo. And here, I'm actually just going to make a Striker Dragon because I want to put another Dark Monster in the graveyard for the Legionnaire. So we're going to go ahead and trigger our Wyvern Brewster here, adding the Black Dragon. And then at this point, we can link off for the sequence to get more bodies. Go ahead and activate the effect of sequence here. Shuffling back our 2 monsters that are not in Graver. Summon out Lacrima. Lacrima is going to activate to summon us back our Engraver. And now we have 3 monsters. Realistically, once you get the Thunder Dragon engine online by, getting your Roar into play, we're really just trying to make a Saryuja here. So we can go ahead and special summon out our Black Dragon, which is going to give us another Dark in the graveyard. And now at this point, considering we've already sent our Thunder Dragon Dark, I'm just going to go ahead and use this to make a format Saryuja. If we did not draw the Thunder Dragon Roar, then what we would do is we would turn them into a Beatrice to send the Roar and then use this Saryuja. But we did not need to do that because we drew one of our 2 Roars, which is very nice. And we end up drawing into a Melody the Awakening Dragon, which is amazing, as well as a Thunder Dragon OG. So I'm going to put back this Allure. We're going to put back this Maxi because I'm a ballsy motherfucker. And then we can just put back, I guess, Thunder Dragon Legionnaire, because we're going to be able to search 2 regardless. So that doesn't really matter that much. The reason I want to keep this OG is because not only is it going to give us fodder for the Melody, it's going to be our second Thunder Dragon that can be special summoned off of Saryuja in order to make a second Colossus here. So that is very, very nice. And even though we put back the Legionnaire, it's all good because we're going to add it right back to hand, and we're going to be able to potentially hand rip for 2 here. So we only have 2 Darks in the graveyard, so we're going to go ahead and activate our Thunder Dragon Hawk here, allowing us to bring back our Roar, get that back in rotation. And then we're going to tribute our Roar off here for a Thunder Dragon Colossus. Important to summon the Colossus to the zone your Saryuja points to so that you get the buff. That's going to then trigger our Diabolos to get a free special summon here. Summon him out there. So yeah, now at this point we can just go ahead and summon our 11-year by putting back 3 Darks. So 1, 2, 3. If you're ending on 2 Colossus, I find it pretty negligible to end with more than 1 Thunder in the graveyard because most of the time, it's just going to be difficult for them to beat through 2, even if you don't have a protection in the graveyard. And now we can go ahead and activate our Saryuja. Saryuja is just going to banish a OG, because why not? Which will then allow us to activate our Diabolos here by tributing the Saryuja, putting back a second card from our opponent's hand back in the deck, and that's going to allow us to send ourselves a Bystial Lubellion to the graveyard. And now, at this point, we can special summon back our Lubellion by tributing our Levy, which can then allow us to set a Regained or a Branded Beast from the deck. I'm going to set the Regained. Typically, you want to set the Beast if you either sent a Regain to the graveyard off of your Saryuja because you had a loaded hand, or number 2, because you activated a Magamut this turn, so you're going to have a Bystial on their turn. It just kind of depends. But in this situation, it really doesn't matter. And then we're going to be able to activate our Bystial Saryuja here, which can then banish Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, I guess. If I would have had a white or black dragon still in the graveyard, I would have banished that because we're going to put it back with our Regained in order to draw another card here. But that's completely fine. It allows us to search it off of the Magamut or a Starleash Seyfried if we get one. Okay, we get another Druid Swarm to replace it. That's awesome. So now at this point, before we're done with our Saryuja, we need to use the Special Summon from Hand effect to summon out another Thunder Dragon OG. And then we're going to be able to tribute it off to make the second Colossus here. So now we don't need the yugioh anymore, which means we can link away the Druid Swarm and the yugioh to make a hieratic seal of Heavenly Spheres. And at this point, our monster zones are cleaned up, so we can overlay for a number 38 Hope Harbinger. Additionally, you could also just make an IP and summon back the Engraver. It's really just up to you. I think Hope Harbinger is just better because it gives us a diversified interruption here. And we have a total of 3 Thunder monsters in the graveyard to protect our Colossus. So even if they do have an AoE, we're going to be able to protect. And that's also why I like Hope Harbinger, because it can stop your Tenpai opponent from activating cards like Lightning Storm if you're an attack, or Raigeki, which is pretty popular. At this point, since I have 3 Fiendsmiths in the grave, I'm just going to activate this to get this in cycle. Technically, I don't think you need to do this because you might want to keep your zones open, because you might need to use your Bestial Druid Swarm before you're activating Hieratic Seals, which at that point you wouldn't get to summon from the deck. But you could do either of those things. So we ended up with looping our opponent's hand for 2 cards, 2 Thunder Dragon Colossus with 3 Protection Thunders in the grave, a Hieratic Seals, which could then end up summoning us any dragon from the deck. It could be a Safer, it could be a Magamut, it could be a Druid Swarm if you had Branded Beast. Especially if you ended up with the IP instead, you'd get the Druid Swarm, assuming we don't have this in hand, so you have another interruption. And we have a Hope Harbinger to spell negate, the ability to draw a card on an opponent's turn and summon back a Bestial from the graveyard if they summon. And next turn for follow-up, we have the 1 Lacrim in the grave for the Engraver. And we're probably going to get a Magamut off this, so we'll get a Search and a Draw. And there's just a lot of things we would be able to do. You also do have the Hawk in the grave, depending on what's left in the grave. Sometimes that's relevant. We could shuffle this back, draw another card, whatever ends up happening, since we are drawing a second card off this. But that is pretty much the ideal inboard, guys. I think it is very strong in this meta. A lot of times people are going to quit out before you get to this point, but very often, even if people hand trap you multiple times, you can still end on this board, and it's very powerful. But let's go ahead and hop into some real matches. All right, well, we're starting off with an interesting hand, to say the least. Definitely going to have to rely on this Allure of Darkness, getting out of this pinch. Hopefully he does not have an Ash Blossom. That would be terrible. Did not have an Ash, and we pick up the Thunder Dragon OG. That's actually pretty good here. I think I'll just get rid of the Druid Swarm. Then we can go and activate OG. Do we want to add in a second copy? I think I just need to put cards into the graveyard. But maybe it doesn't matter. I'm going to have 2 regardless. And then we're going to be able to overlay for an Attuned. Yeah, we'll just add the second copy. Activate Magamut. Magamut. So no matter what, we're going to be able to make a Colossus here. And it's very important to play fast with this deck. It's kind of difficult when I'm talking to the chat, but if you don't play fast enough, you're going to be in a pinch for sure. Summon back the OG. Unfortunately, it's not a Dark Thunder, which means that we are unable to trigger Diabolos, but that's fine because we're going to get a Lubellion here. So we can activate our Serenir, banishing the Hawk. Could tribute for the Colossus immediately, but rather just hold on to it. Hopefully he does not have a Nibiru. That'd be very bad. And then we're just going to overlay for an Attuned. See what he has to say about that. And he's going to go ahead and Veiler. That does kind of suck. But honestly, that is completely fine. We're just going to go for a double Colossus line here. One advantage to this deck is since there's no dedicated normal summon, you can tribute summon for whatever you want. So here, I can just go ahead and tribute this Tomb. Well, actually, no. What we're going to do is we're going to activate this by detaching the Serenir. Then Serenir's effect will trigger first. It doesn't actually matter, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget that. Then we can end off on a second Colossus here. And now I've got 2 Colossus with, I believe, 2 Thunders engrave, and we'll be able to resolve our Magamute here. And I'll just get a Druid Swarm for protection. If they're playing Fiendsmith, this is actually going to be a quite difficult board out here. But as you can see, even if your opponent hand traps you, you can still do a decent amount, and a lot of times it's going to be enough. Let's go. All right, guys. 1 Bestial and a Dream. 1 Bestial and a Dream, I believe. They never hard open the Engraver here. Oh, he's playing Fire King. Okay. I respect it. Pure Fire King, potentially. Pure Fire King did do some stuff at the most recent YCS. Oh, he's playing Snake Eye Fire King. Is he also playing the Fiendsmith engine in that? That'd be really weird. He's going to go Flamberge. Discard to summon the Garunix. Destroy the Ulknix. Go get the OG Garunix. Is he going to link those off for a Fiendsmith combo? If he does, we have a hard punish. He just summoned the Arvada. That is not good for us. Oh, he's going to the Zombie Vampire. Okay. Interesting. Ooh, okay. He milled his Skyburn, which is very good for us. If he only plays 1 Skyburn. Does he play multiple Skyburn? He does. Wow, okay. That's pretty crazy. How many cards is this deck? It's a 40-card deck. I don't know how he has room for all this. Does he also play Fiendsmith? I feel like there's no way. This has to be just a OG Snake Eye Fire King deck, right? With a higher Fire King engine if he's running 2 copies of Skyburn. That's very, very weird. I never really found the utility of playing the Zombie Vampire in this deck because it's just such an advantage to mill the other person's graveyard. And a lot of times you could just do the same thing without giving your opponent an advantage. It's not like it's going to change what end board you want to end on. Because this deck pretty much just ends on the same end board every time. There's a few niche situations where if you can't do anything, making this could allow you to play the game. But ultimately now, with the Fiendsmith engine, I think this card's just obsolete. You'd rather just use those 2 bodies to make a sequence here. Okay, well, he's just going to set 1 and pass. Presumably the Skyburn. Almost guaranteed the Skyburn. We have 2 Chaos Space in the graveyard, though, which is very nice. And we have the TTT. So if we do bait out the Arvada, we're going to be in a very good position. We also know that he has no Promethean Princess, which is great. Well, I guess let's just start off with this Allure to banish this Magamute. Show us the gas. Show us a Thunder Dragon Roar. That'd be great. Oh, we get 2 more Bestials. Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll just go ahead and get rid of the Baldrake. Go ahead and do it one more time. Just get our options open here. Surely we eventually draw something good. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to get rid of our second Baldrake. Don't really care too much about that. Then we can go ahead and Pen Scale. See if he has anything to say about that. We can pay the 1,000 points. Add back the Shiny Baldrake, of course. Shiny 1 is a need, not a want. Attempt to summon the Saronir. Banishing the Baldrake. He's going to let it go through. Cool. And now I could bait out his Skyburn by just going to the battle phase. Yeah, no, if I go to the battle phase and he activates his Garunix in the battle phase, that wouldn't be great because I want to use my talents. So I think we will actually just do this. Use the effect of Saronir here. Sending the Druid Swarm to grave. Now we can activate this. He's going to negate. Okay, the talents is online. You love to see it.
I fucking knew it! Oh!
And now we'll be able to max C as well. So he's going to protect. Can you use both effects in the graveyard? Oh, he can't use the other effect now. Wow. Okay, that's amazing for us. So he basically has nothing. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do this. Draw 2. Yahoo! We love a good triple tactics talent this time of year. That was awesome. Okay. Now we can just go ahead and special summon. Banish, Saronir, whatever. Keep the Druid Swarm for now. We gotta play fast. Go into Striker Dragon. Activate effect. Go get the Black Dragon. Banish the white dragon. Activate effect of this chaos space to target the white dragon. And we get a brand of beast. Not the greatest. But that is okay. It's all good in the hood. Gonna link off both of these. Go into our moon. Try to go into our Fiendsmith engine. Oh, fuck. I didn't activate my black dragon. I was trying to get through these prompts. That does kind of suck. We just lost out on a free card, but we've already used the effect this turn, so it's not the worst. He's already used the effect of his Skyburn, so he can't use the first effect. I don't know what he could have. Link off into the Requiem. Activate the effect. Summon out the Engraver. Now we can go ahead and activate this. Use the effect of Engraver. Special summon out Sequence. Does not have anything there. We're going to be able to use Sequence. Summon out Lacrima. And we got to play super fast here. You got to play super fast with this deck. It's kind of difficult because I'm trying to talk to you guys, but it is very, very rewarding when you do it correctly. Special summon to the field. Hopefully it does not have an Nibiru. And then we'll be able to go for a Beatrice. Activate the effect of Beatrice. Detach the Engraver. And we will send a Roar to the grave. Now we can activate the effect of our Magamut by targeting this Roar. Summon out Magamut. We can go Roar 1. Magamut 2. Summon out our Dark to the field. And now we can go ahead and activate Hawk. Summon back Roar. This is a situation where maybe having a duo in the deck would increase our ability to play through Nibiru, but it is what it is. We're going to sack off for the Colossus here. And then we'll be able to use Dark's effect. Dark to add an OG here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to normal summon Safer. Safer is a light, which means we're going to be able to synchro 10 into a Chaos Angel. And he has the Nibiru. Alright, well, we'll chain the Maxi. Still have a Bestial Baldrake. Maybe I went too hard, too quickly. But we might still be able to do something here. Drawn to an Allure. That's not terrible. That was actually pretty nice. We can go ahead and activate Fiendsmith Engraver to get him back. Get him back in the rotation. And we have a 12,600 Nibiru token, which is awesome. Now we're going to activate our Thunder Dragon to thin the deck here. And I'm going to Allure, because there is a high chance that we could draw into a big dragon and just kill him. Ooh, we drew into a Diabolos. That is awesome. Well, actually, no, that doesn't really help that much. But that's okay. Summon this out, and fuck it, we'll just get rid of this. Link off here. Well, no, we don't actually need a link off, I don't think. Yeah, we can just go for a down pointing arrow. This isn't optimal, but it's still fine. Go for an IP, use Druid's Worm, send this. Now we shall summon this out. Banish Beatrice. And yeah, we can just banish this, whatever. Activate Safer, because we can. Add this back to hand. And we can go activate this. Go to battle phase. And let's just activate this. Set this face down and hope for the best. End phase, resolve Magamut. And let's get a Druid's Worm. Probably should have added a Chaos Emperor, but I just want to have full utility here. He's going to summon out an Ulcanix. Okay. Activate the Skyburn. And we will banish this. Summon out the Druid's Worm. Activate the effect of Roar. Summon out a Roar here. Now we are going to allow that to happen. Just going to go for a Kieran. We are going to chain IP. Go into an SP. Give it protection here. Only a few seconds left, but that's all the boat needs to end this match. I probably could have played way better, but that's okay. It just shows the strength of this deck. Well, I'm surprised you didn't summon out the Arvada. Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to chain. And chain the Druid's-Worm. Send his Fire Avatar OG Grunix to the grave. And we're good. I think he didn't understand that his spell had to be Chain Link 1 there. And that kind of fucked him. And I appreciate that. But yeah, this was a really good game. Okay. He's going to place my SP Little Knight face up. That's fine. I mean, we have a ton of follow-up next turn. All we have to do is summon a Bestial, and that's GG, brother. And that's all she wrote, baby. Thunder Dragon Bestial for the W. Totally could have played way better, but that just shows you how many different plays there are in this deck and how every single hand turns out differently. I was a little bit too greedy. I definitely could have played around Nibiru there. I just didn't really respect it. I just wanted to show you guys like what the ceiling is of this deck, but that's okay. All right, we got a Max C and we got a Bestial. That's great. You love to see it. This hand is pretty decent. I think I'm willing to play into Talents because I have a Baldrake anyway. Ooh, he's playing Voiceless Voice. Yeah, Bestials are actually really good versus Voiceless Voice. He's going to add a Saphira. Okay. Sure. Sending the Prayers in order to add a big dude there. That is fine by me. Unfortunately, I can't activate my Bestial because he doesn't control a monster, but I can Max C and hope that he does not have a call by here. If he doesn't have a call by, we're going to be in a great position. Okay, he does not. Awesome. And he drew the Servaris. If we draw into another Bestial, this is crazy. Okay, we didn't. That's still a really good card, though. And the Talents is going to go a long way. Because Talents can actually play around this, making his guys untargetable, which is really good. Could technically just banish his Servaris. He's going to add a low. What does this do in the graveyard? Let me read this real quick. Okay, it doesn't do anything in the graveyard. Yeah, I'm just going to let him get off his low. He's probably going to end on a minimal board. He's going to end with the trap card, sure. Shuffle one Warrior Dragon Ritual from hand or graveyard into the deck. And then if you do, you can special summon. Okay. And if he just ends like this is great. Okay, this is amazing. Wow. Okay, awesome. So we have the Melody here. Drawing that dark was actually pretty bad. Because that's what you want to summon off of your Roar. So that's like really unfortunate. Well, let's go ahead and activate. Yeah, let's just activate this. Yeah, we'll just discard the dark here. A little unfortunate, but that's okay. Not exactly sure what's correct. Like, the extra body might actually matter with this Diabolos. You know what? Let's just add both these. It's the safe option. And then we got to play fast here. We're going to go Lubellion. And we're just going to add a Saronir because we need to put cards in the graveyard. I will activate the Saronir by banishing the dark. See if he negates this. It is not going to negate, so we can go ahead and grab our Hawk. This is why it might have been better to add Diabolos. I'm not sure. You have to think very fast in this deck. Because we'd have a free special at this point. Can just go ahead and do this. Get this dude back into circulation. And then I need to bait that out. So I'm just going to summon my Lubellion. Saronir effect. That's going to allow us to send a Magamut. Which is actually very strong here. You're going to use this. Does not respond, so that's actually really good. Get the Branded Beast. Activate the Branded Beast. Target this. See if he's willing to negate that. He's going to go ahead and use that, sure. And now I'm going to sack this off to have 3 darks. Oh, well, actually, I don't want to banish all 3 darks because I want to pop his back row. So we're going to banish this, and we'll banish that. Activate the effect. So now we'll be able to activate our Chaos Emperor to add back our Magamut here, giving us another body to play with, which is really nice. And he's going to negate. Great. Perfect. Now I'm just going to activate this Talents, and I'm just going to take control. Take this dude. Pen scale this. Activate it. Add back the Magamut. Activate the Magamut. Banishing his Servaris. And then we're just going to go into the full Fiendsmith line. I probably should go into a Hieratic Dragon of a Tomb, but I don't think we have enough time to go for that line. And that's going to be all she wrote. Well, from there, we're going to be able to full Fiendsmith combo, Baldrake, get rid of his Ritual, and then be able to make a 4-material Saryuja and do whatever we want from there. But that just goes to show, guys, Bystials are very, very good going second, even when you only draw one. All right, starting off on the play. See what we can do here. Hopefully, he does not have Drone Lockbird. That is the one weakness to this deck. I'm going to go ahead and start off and use this Bystial Lubellion just to thin the deck here. And we're going to add a Magamut since we already have a Saren here. If he goes for a Droll, yeah, he has a Droll. I at least now have 2 Bystials, and I'm going to have a TTT here, which isn't terrible. And I'm just going to look at his hand. Remove that starter because he's a dirty little boy. Ooh, and he's playing Tier. Well, by removing his Shiren, he basically has no plays. That's really, really nice. Technically, my Bystials would just out-resource him anyway, but that's all good. We're going to go ahead and use our Magamut. Oh, wait. I can't search because it's until the end of the turn.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
For some reason, I thought that his Droll and Lockbird would wear off during the end of the turn, but whatever. It is what it is. I just kind of fucked up. Hopefully, that will not matter. I just wanted to assert my dominance by putting a body on the board, guys. He currently cannot play the game with his hand. If it gets back to us, we can start doing Allure shenanigans. But yeah, if I would have kept that in hand, it was just confirmed, because then we have, 2 Bystials in hand for defense, and he's playing Tier. Decide just normal summon the Keldo. Okay. I'm just going to go to the end phase. I don't know why you wouldn't set it face down, but whatever. Ooh, baby, that's nice. That's nice. We nice right now, baby. We nice right now. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Any cards are going to give us action here. Great. That is awesome. Okay. I'm going to banish the Drewsworm specifically because Saronir puts more bodies into the graveyard. And then we're going to go ahead and activate our OG, which just puts resources for our Saronir. Yeah, I am just going to add another one to hand. And we're just going to activate... Really curious to see what he drew here. He can target and banish up to 3, which is a little bit frustrating. We're going to go with Tomb to put resources in the grave. Use the effect, detach Saronir, Seifert, and then link off into an SP. Send the Lubellion. Now we can make the Striker Dragon and force his Keldo. See if he wants to let us do this. And that also provides a Dark to where if he shuffles back all 3, I'm still going to be able to Wyvern Burster in full combo. Okay. Well, now I don't have to SP, and I'm going to kill you, buddy. Let's go. Sure, that's fine, buddy. We're just getting warmed up. Now I don't have to make an SP. That was kind of a complicated situation. It took me a second to recognize how that would all play out because it was a pretty complicated game state. But this should be game no matter what. Summon the Requiem. Requiem effect. Go get the Engraver. Activate Wyvern Burster. Banish Striker. Could have banished Magamut too, but it is what it is. Link off both of these. Make a sequence. Go get the Black Dragon. Activate sequence to summon the Lacrima. Then we can go Lacrima effect to summon back the Engraver. And then special summon the Black Dragon. We'll go ahead and banish our Atum. Probably should have banished the other one in case we drew a Chaos Space, but that's whatever. And then we're going to be able to make a 4-material Saryuja and kill here. Still haven't used our Engraver, and we're going to be drawing free cards because we don't need 2 OGs, and we're going to be able to special summon 1 OG from hand. Oh, this is insane. Yeah, this is just dirty. We're being a dirty little goo goblin here. Going to be able to banish the Roar. Use Roar's effect. And we drew a Lubellion. Crazy, bro. Actually freaking crazy. And you know what? Do we have 3 Darks in grave? We have 2. We need to put 1 in the grave. Okay, that's fine with me. Link this off. Pretty sure this is just game through Nibiru, which is crazy. And then now we can go ahead and special summon this. Banish all 3 Darks. Shuffle back a card in his hand. Activate effect. And we'll just get a Baldrake. Okay, that's it. That's all she wrote, guys. See how easy it is to make a 4 Meteor Star yugioh. Like, you can do it out of thin air. We force our opponent out from having to use that Keldo, and then we still just 4 Meteor Star yugioh, even though we wasted material to make an Attune. It just goes to show, this deck is very, very powerful. Alright guys, well sorry I was not able to get a bunch of back and forth games going. As you can see, a lot of the time when you have the full combo, it is so oppressive that the other person just quits out, and that's just how Master Duel goes. But if that's happening to you, then it's probably a good sign you're playing a very, very strong deck. And overall, this deck feels amazing. So thank you so much for getting this far in the video, and if you guys want to see more based gaming content like this, make sure to smash the like button, turn post notifications on, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another banger. And as always, if it's not the goo, it's got to go. Peace.
Ooh, is that indigo?